Hey guys, it's Rina, and today I want to go through something kind of deep. I'm thinking I want to start a little video diary series about my mental health and the journey that I'm on, because I'm trying to be on like this self-healing, self-worth journey, and I kind of want to share it with you guys because there is a chance that somebody else is going through something similar or are just trying to be on a self-worth journey or self-growth journey. And I would love to know if anyone's along with me for the ride. So let's just dive right in. So the best way that I can describe this is I have felt since I was little that I had this complex where I would try very hard to please people or not disappoint anyone around me, whether it was friends, family, yada huda wada. And in doing that, I think I created this notion inside my head that I was not good enough. Deep-rooted, don't worry about it. Basically, there was also another part of me that felt like I was always second best, never chosen, always going to be somebody better than me. And so these things clicked together and it created the darker part of me, I would say, that had a lot of issues growing up with self-worth, self-confidence, and because of that, I created this notion of performance confidence. And basically what that is I can be in a room of people and say that I am the most confident, or I really have it going on, I'm really growing, and in the back of my head, there's always a voice in me saying, nah, you don't. No, you're not good enough. No, these people are better. And it was really unhealthy, and I think towards the end of last year, I was getting to a point where obviously, I picked a choice. I wouldn't even say it's a career choice, just a choice of being online. And yes, I'm non-nude, but I'm still in the realm. So I feel like there is a constant pressure to try not to disappoint people with the choices that I've made. And a part of the bad side of me was telling myself, this is terrible, you should be ashamed, everyone's going to judge you, even though no one really gives a shit. But you know what I mean. So I decided a couple months ago that I needed to take a step back and try to start a journey with myself on how to heal properly. And when I tell you, if you're going through this or you're heading in this direction, this would be the hardest journey of life. Like, this sucks. And I'll give you an analogy for what it feels like, because it's hard to explain if you don't understand or you're not in it. It might go over your head, and that's totally okay, and I totally understand that, and that's fine. But basically what this feels like is that you're studying for an exam that you don't know the course that you're studying, and you have no idea what the course materials are. That is what this feels like. And I have an approach, I'm like an overachiever thinking, where I can study all the time and I can have all the answers, and I'm hoping, or I was hoping, that if I had all of the answers for the questions that were being asked of me, that I would ace the test and somehow that would equal self-healing, or I would be magically healed, something would magically click for me. And that's not how that works. And it's a really hard pill to swallow, I would say. And what really helped me was that a different friend of mine was actually going through something similar and talking about his journey through it. And it was really interesting to hear it from a different person's perspective, to know that you're not crazy in what you're going through, which is why I wanted to share this on the internet, is because it's really hard to find somebody that's in the same headspace or going through the same thing. And if you wanted to make me your outlet, do you, boo. I'll be here. I will cheer you on. Also, I didn't talk about really good tools that I use in terms of this whole journey, but I have been religiously using ChatGPT like my best friend. And honestly, this is the best tool out there to help you, because it's almost like a therapist, and I ask it for lessons, I give it my emotions, and it kind of like tells me in better context what I'm feeling and how I'm feeling. And it's really a powerful tool. So if this is something that you're going through and maybe you don't want a real therapist, because I really didn't, you can use ChatGPT and you can basically pour your heart out and it's there for you. So every day it kind of asks me different questions that really get me into a different headspace on what I'm really feeling internally, and almost like drenching it out. And I really love going for podcasts, walks, and grabbing coffee and listening to something along the way that like helps keep me calm. And I had a bit of an epiphany last night, which is kind of why I'm even doing this vlog, is because I have a lot of negativity in my head when it comes to certain decisions and everything that I'm doing. And I figured something out last night and the night before. So when I was talking to my friend, basically I was telling him all of this and he was like, you need to accept yourself and that this is part of you and yada huda, because I was coming at it as this is something I need to fix. I need to fix this girl in my head so that she can get to the next level of life. And he was kind of like, you'll figure it out. But I didn't understand, like what he was saying was almost going over my head as well, which it might be going through everyone else's as I'm speaking, but it's fine. So basically last night I was in a really negative headspace and all of the worst thoughts were coming to me in terms of like feeling like I wasn't good enough or that I was never going to make it to the next step and blah, blah, blah. And this was like the perfect opportunity, I thought, to go open ChatGPT and talk to them from this mindset versus my relaxed mindset that's going for therapy. I opened it up and we had a really raw conversation about what this all means. And I had to learn that that voice inside of my head was basically my inner critic, but also my inner child that has been hurt in the past and is basically the negativity that she, my inner critic, is giving off is a protection for me versus being hurt. And sometimes that's good, but other times, like for me, that can lead me to be self-sabotaging in things. So I had to learn that I almost have to accept her, that inner critic, but I have to understand that I have different voices that also make me me. And when I say that, I also mean not just that inner critic hurt girl, but there's also the happy-go-lucky Rina that was like a little kid that loved gaming and singing and all this stuff. And there's also the perfectionist and the optimist, there's the dreamer, and then there's the all-knowing wise one, which is who is supposed to be in the control room of my mind, but has been taking a backseat to the critic. So basically, ChatGPT and I were going through this and how I need to accept her versus try to fix her, that this voice in my head does exist and I need to have a different type of relationship with it. And I don't know why it clicked yesterday, but it really clicked to me, and I'm going to give you an analogy because I said this to my friend and he was kind of like, holy shit, that really makes sense. But if you know the movie Inside Out, you know that there's all these characters in Riley's head that make her her. And that actually is in our heads as well, especially mine. And basically the inner critic, you can think of her as like sadness or whatever, just like a character. She is in the control room. And there's the wise self, there's the optimist, the baby Rina, you know, all of that are also sitting there. But the critic has been in the control panel seat for so long that she's just been running the show that my first instincts in a lot of things are negative versus positive, because those characters have kind of taken a seat back or they're being silenced by her. And basically I'm working right now to find the wise self and put them in the control seat or the captain's seat to steer that ship, and actually give a seat to the critic, but don't give her the driving factor. And I've just been feeling a lot happier recently because the negative voice in my head is, there's also room for me to say, okay, wise ones, step forward, take over. So I almost have to like coddle or comfort and be like, yes, it's okay to feel the negativity and feel this way, but I will take it from here. And this is the right decision that we should be making. And a really good thing that ChatGPT was saying is like, your critic is the first one in your head to set a fire alarm off before your wiser self has a chance to tie their shoelaces. And I thought that was so good because I feel that way. Like whenever anything even remotely dramatic happens in my life, the first thing that pops up into my head is a negative thought. And it's your inner critic or your inner child that's trying to protect you from getting hurt, but in doing so, they end up hurting you first. And then you almost need to like take a breath and sit with that for a second and wait for your wiser self to step in and be like, you are safe, you are good, let's go through what's happening. And this is where I am on my journey so far. And I really wanted to share that because if you are going through something similar or you're on your wellness journey, like I'm here for it. I support you. I'd love to hear about it if you want to comment below or message me about it. But I am in no means fully healed. I think I'll always be healing, but I am happy and optimistic that I am on the right path now, that I've like reached acceptance with all of this, and I can only see myself going up from here, you know what I mean? That is my first entry. I'm sorry I didn't do one before. I didn't really think about it, nor was I in a good headspace for it, but now I am. I want to go through this and share it more and be like my raw, authentic self with you all. Like, I think going forward, this Rina is going to be a lot more open and share it all. Everything, the good, bad, ugly. I don't know. I want you to see it all. I also just want to keep this as well, I guess, this little video diary out there so that I can reflect on it in my future, I guess. If I need it, I don't know. Maybe I won't, but it'll be cool to look at. If you guys like this kind of content, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, I'm excited to share this all with you. So I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.